Hood, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And with a further look at the comments made by U.S. Secretary Condoleezza Rice, Christopher Sands, Senior Fellow at the Hudson Institute, joins us now from Washington. And Mr. Sands, I mean, you heard what Condoleezza Rice had to say. Do you think it amounts to an admission of guilt?
No, absolutely not. In fact, the U.S. doesn't believe at all that Maher Arar is this innocent victim. This is sort of the way that he's being portrayed in Canada, because Canada has decided that in the way that they handled him, they made a mistake. They didn't have a basis for handing him over or for not accepting him back from the United States originally. Canada did make a mistake. What Condoleezza Rice said yesterday was that, and this is consistent, it's actually the first time the U.S. has made this admission, that the U.S., in dealing with the Canadian government, put the Canadian government in a bad position, and that's partly the result of the system we were using at the time, something called the National Security Entry Exit Registration System, or NSEERS. Shortly after the Arar incident, that system was scrapped. We started all over, and now we have a program called U.S. Visit for screening people as they come through the United States. So we've made this is something now a couple of years old. We changed our system, we revised our procedures, recognizing that the way in which we communicated with a key ally like Canada on this left a lot to be desired. But I don't think you should take that or the comments of some very left-wing extreme congressmen, Bill Delahunt, Jerome Nadler, not guys who are in the mainstream at all, in fact, on the very far left of American politics, the fact that they would take this cause up, I mean, it's no different than Cindy Sheehan saying that Maher Arar is a innocent victim and should be exonerated. You shouldn't take that as mainstream in the United States. This guy is never going to be exonerated, certainly not by this administration. There's no evidence that why we have him on that list is wrong. And the U.S. operates the watch list on what we would call, or what the Europeans would call, I guess, the precautionary principle. We don't take anybody off until we're absolutely certain there's no risk to the American public. And that's not the case with Maher Arar.
Well, when you take a look at the communication between the U.S. and Canada, would there be at least a significant portion to the comments as to suggest that there wasn't the kind of communication back and forth between the two countries regarding the Arar case, as some had believed, certainly from the outset?
Absolutely, and in fact, some people here looking at it have said what the U.S. should have done was just hold on to him and think this through a bit more quickly or a bit more thoroughly before taking action. Sending him off to Jordan and from Jordan to Syria was the wrong decision, and that's something that the people have looked at here and come to the same conclusion. But that doesn't mean that he wasn't a person of interest, that he shouldn't have been held. We just moved too quickly, and I think U.S. officials took the Canadian refusal to take him as a signal, compounding their initial judgment, this guy is a hot potato, we should move him along. And I think they probably should have thought that through more carefully. But as I say, the Maher Arar case in the U.S. has led to a substantial revision of procedures, including a revision of the computer system. So that much, which has been in the public domain for a while, is really all that Condoleezza Rice is acknowledging. The embarrassment for Canada, which we should not have caused, but hopefully we'll do better in the future.
Christopher Sands from the Hudson Institute, thank you for your time.
Sure.
And now over to Seamus.